Dangal greetings, welcome to our video presentation. And in this video presentation, we will going to explain and discuss our code as well as demonstrate our system, product inventory management system. So before we proceed on that, let me introduce myself and my group members. So my name is Kevin Fransalbuena and I'm the group representative. And we have John Winloy Dagon, Lian Janel Dalde, Caitlin Cheryl Estores, Grain Justin Fajardo, Lugila Bigan, April Joy Liro, John Red Morada, Jerome Molles, and Rob Cholo Olalia as my group members.
Greetings and good day po, Sir Janus. We'll be presenting the key parts of our product inventory management system. I'll be the one to explain db.php, setup SQL, and Toast.js, which handles the database connection, database setup, and user notifications. Let's start po sa db.php. And for sa db.php po, ito po yung nagko-connect ng system natin sa SQL, SQLi OOP. So, as we can see, andito po yung mga database credentials natin. Doon po sinusor yung connection and yung pag-create ng new database connection gamit po yung MySQLi OOP. Lastly, ito naman po is yung condition para i-check po kung nag-fail yung connection and mag-show po siya ng error for debugging. Next, punta naman po tayo sa setup.sql. And here, nag-create po tayo ng database if not exists, which is pinangalanan po nating inventory DB. And dito, nag-create po tayo ng tables for categories, users, suppliers, products, etc. And dito po sa pag-create ng table, dito po dinedefine kung paano po ba nasa-store yung data. And as you can notice, may yung mga table po natin, nagko-contain po siya ng fields like name, price, image, etc. and other stuff po. As you can see, may mga products po na po tayo dito na naka-display na po because of this inserted data. Ito po yung mga products na in-insert po natin. Ito po yung function na nag-create po ng pop-up message dynamically. And ito po yung for error box kung error and kung success po ba. Ito po yung lalabas kung success, meanwhile, ito naman po yung lalabas pag nag-error. Yung set timeout naman po is kung gaano katagal po siya magdi-display, which is 3 seconds ang niset po natin. Demo ko lang po kung paano po nagana yung Toast.js namin. So for example, yung name po ng product is Nintendo Switch. Lagay po natin ng initial stock, which is 17. And click na po natin yung save and makikita po natin na in-inform po tayo ng Toast na na-add po yung product successfully. Try naman po natin i-edit. Wait naman po na pag in-update po natin yung product, lalabas po product updated successfully. And lastly, pag dinelete po natin is magna-notify din po na product deleted successfully.
Dangal greetings, my name is Kevin Fransalbuena and today ako naman po yung magdi-discuss or mag-explain ng aming login page, register page, and as well as yung logout.php. So first is dito tayo sa login page or sa index.php. So basically yung ginagawa nito is magpa-connect muna doon sa ating database, then mag-create ng bagong database object for interaction. Then i-check lang if yung user ba is login na. So if login na is i-redirect sila doon sa kanilang dashboard based on the row. Then meron tayong variables to store error and success message. Then i-check lang nung system if linik na ba ni user yung register or yung login button. So doon is pag na-click na, so kukunin yung username as well as yung password na in-input ni user. Then i-check lang if empty ba or hindi yung mga input fields. Next naman, if hindi empty, so gagawa siya ng prepared statement. So if i-fetch yung mga user details like yung user ID, name, username, and password. Also yung row. Then if merong error, meron siyang error message na lalabas. So if wala naman, is ibabind yung user input doon sa prepared statement. So then i-execute, kukunin din yung result nung query na yun. So if yung result is greater than 0, so it means na existing yung username doon sa ating database. So kukunin niya lang yung user data nung result na yun. Then next is i-check lang yung password if it's similar doon sa nasa database. So if match siya, then magre-redirect lang doon sa dashboard based on their role. Then next, if invalid naman yung password or not existing yung username or yung account, then meron siyang error message. Next is meron siyang success message na magdi-display ng message upon registering an account. Next naman sa ating HTML code. So basically, ito yung structure ng ating login form. So dito meron tayong div elements to show error and success message. Then yung ating form na kung saan doon yung username input field as well as yung password. Then meron tayong button to submit the form. Next is we have the Toast for notification for displaying messages. Then meron tayong simple script na kung saan if merong error nagawa si user upon is meron siyang notification to display that message. Next naman is register page. So basically yung ginagawa ng register page is connect muna doon sa ating database, gagawa ng bagong database object. Then upon clicking yung register button, so kukunin niya yung role, yung username as well as yung password. So then i-check yung role if supplier ba siya or hindi. So if supplier is kukunin pa yung additional information like company name, contact number, and yung supply categories. So yung supply categories is naka-array since yung supplier can select more than one category. Next is i-validate lang, i-check if empty malaki ba yung input fields, yung username ba is less than 3 characters or yung password ba is less than 6 characters, then if may sinelect ba si user na role or hindi. Next naman is yung admin. If yung role ba is na-clinic ni user is admin, then i-check niya if yung admin ba is existing na doon sa database. So if existing na, meron siyang error message. If not naman, mag-proceed siya sa pag-check ng username. So chine-check lang dito kung yung username ba is already existing na doon sa ating database. So if existing na, meron siyang error message. Next naman, if wala ng error, so kukunin na yung password as well as yung other information, then i-bind na doon or i-insert na doon sa ating table. Next naman, if yung role is supplier, then yung additional information is i-insert doon sa ating supplier's table. Then meron nang tayong for loop for inserting yung supplier category sa ating prepared statement. Next is meron nang tayong message na nagsasabi if successfully registered ba yung account or hindi. Next naman is meron nang tayong pag-fetch ng categories para sa supplier registration. Next sa ating HTML code, so dito is yung structure lang ng ating register form or register page. So meron tayong div elements to show error message, and also meron tayong sa loob ng ating form is meron tayong drop down to select role ng user. Next is yung full name, input field, company name, contact number, as well as yung checkboxes ng product categories na sinasupply ng mga supplier. And also the username, input field, and yung password, as well as a button to successfully registered yung account na yun. Next is we have just a simple script na kung saan tinatoggle yung fields nito. So if clinic ni user is supplier doon sa ating role, so doon lalabas yung additional information na kailangang i-input ni supplier. Lastly, doon sa logout.php, so basically yung ginagawa nito is dinedestroy niya lamang yung session and dinedelete niya rin yung session cookies. So for example, gagawa tayo ng bagong account. So dito magse-select lamang si user ng role niya. So sa admin and staff, so i-input lang nila yung full name, username, and password. If supplier naman is meron pa siyang additional information. So for example, naglagay tayo ng National Bookstore as company name. And then yung product categories na sinasupply nila is books. Then upon clicking the register button, successfully registered na yung user na yun. So check natin sa ating database. So makikita natin dito sa ating database, sa ating user. So successfully created na yung supplier 10, which is yung National Bookstore. Next naman dito sa login page is i-enter lamang ni user yung kanyang username as well as yung password. So, and then clicking the login button will redirect them to their specific or assigned dashboard. So dito is makikita din natin sa ating sidebar yung logout button. So if clinic lang ni user yung logout button, is malalogout siya doon sa ating system.
So good dindangal greetings, I'm Rogelio Alalia, explaining the admin dashboard in inventory. Dito sa dashboard is makikita natin yung total products, if out of stock, if need na i-restock agad, kung low stock ba, if below 10 units, total transaction, total sales, and pending request. Dito is makikita natin yung mga recent transaction ng admin. Yung makikita yung ID, product, type, kung sales, restocking, quantity, amount, and date. Next is sa inventory. Dito is makikita mo yung kung ano yung product na gusto nyo search. Next is sa categories. Dito ay makikita mo kung ano yung categories na inalak mo. For example, clothing, electronics, etc. And next is dito, makikita natin ID, image, name, category, price, stock, and status kunwari low stock, critical, or normal pa naman, kunwari available pa na madami. Next is sa edit. Dito is pwede mong i-edit yung nasa inventory mo. For example, name, category, price, stock, and yung image kung gusto mong palitan. Next is the code part. The code starts by enabling full error reporting using error reporting EALL and displaying those errors in the browser with iniset display errors, which helps during development, and it then initializes a session with session start to manage user authentication, followed by setting HTTP headers. After access control is the script includes the database connection file using required dbphp. It then executes several SQL queries to gather dashboard statistics such as counting all products, identifying out-of-stock items, and detecting low-stock items, trying each result safely by checking if the query succeeded. And additional queries calculate the total number of transactions, sum up total sales where the transaction type is sales, and count pending restock requests. Again, ensuring fallback values like 0 if results are null or queries full. And finally, the code initializes dito an empty array and retrieves the 5 most recent transactions by joining the transaction and products table using left join, and allowing product names to be included even if some data is missing, and the results are ordered by the latest creation date and limited to 5 entries, then check for success before looping through each row with fetch assoc. Each transaction record is stored in the recent TXNS array, preparing the data for displaying the admin dashboard interface. Then last, ito yung HTML structure of the admin dashboard. So dito tayo sa handle, add, edit, product via post request. Put values such as name, category, price, stock, and image URL. It validates the inputs to ensure required fields are filled and values like price and stock are not negative, setting an error message. Dito naman is it checks if there are no validation errors and then performs either an add or edit operation based on the action, using prepared statements to securely insert a new product or update an existing one in the database while setting appropriate success or error messages in the session. Get search and category filter parameters from get request. So, eto naman is it retrieves search and category filter values from the get request, fetches all categories for a dropdown, and builds a dynamic SQL query to get products along with their category names using a left join. It then conditionally adds filters for product name and category, uses a prepared statements when parameters exist for security, and executes the query to return the filtered or complete product lists ordered by latest entries. And lastly is ito rin yung HTML structure namin.
Ngayon dyan nagpidalde, and I'll be explaining the deletion process on our product inventory and as well as the stock monitor page. So, ang next na po is yung process na po ng pag-delete. So, yung delete button po. So, pag mag-delete po first, inaalam po muna yung ID ng selected na row. So, if it's not equal to 0, then magpo-proceed na po sa pag-delete. So, magdi-delete siya from the tables product where yung ID is equal sa pinili na row ng admin. So, halimbawa po, gusto ko pong i-delete tong notebook bundle. Pipindutin lang po natin tong delete button. And then, okay. So, na makikita po natin, wala na po dito sa inventory page natin yung delete natin. So, dito naman po sa stock namin, basically, ang stock po is yung page na naglalaman ng kung ilan na po yung stocks na meron sa aming product inventory management system. And then, we created a query wherein dinidisplay or sineselect yung name, category name ng products and as well as the stocks. So dito po makikita po natin yan sa stock monitor. So ito po yung mga cards wherein nag-hold sila ng mga values kung ilan na po yung out of stock, ilan na yung in critical stock, in low stock, and in normal stock. So nagawa po namin yan by a query using the aggregation count wherein kinakount niya po kung ilan na po yung stock ng specific product sa products table. Next na po is yung table na po ng inventory. So ito po yan. Ito po. Ayan. Then, sa table na yun, nagdi-display yung ID, the product name, the category, the stock level, the status, and alert level.
So now greetings, I'm Return, and today I will be the one to explain our transaction history from admin transactions.php. This is our transaction history dashboard, which acts as the system's real-time ledger. When I access this an admin, the system immediately pulls data from the database to update the summary report. Showing our total revenue and transactions count, the main table displays very movement. Sales are highlighted in green with the payment amount, while tracking is highlighted blue to track inventory updates. It added a smart filter so that changing the type drop-down instantly update the list without needing a refresh button. For security, the page uses session first and cache protection, ensuring that sensitive financial data is only visible to authorized admin and never stored in the browser.
Tangal greetings, I'm John Willie Desdago and I'll be discussing the profile pages of PHP in all roles in our system and also the admin setting PHP in our system. Since sa admin na yung isang part na i-explain ko, ginawa ko na example yung admin role na profile. So, una is meron tayong field for itong mga fields na to, which na equal sa may details or data ni current user. And then password naman, kapag gusto mong bawin yung password, leave blank, mag-enter ka lang dyan. Kapag ayaw mo, leave blank if you don't want to change password. Then yung new password and current password na dapat pareho dahil yung new password, ito yung magpapalit kay current password, and yung confirm password na dapat match kay new password for confirmation na yun mismo yung password na gusto mong ipalit. Yung button natin update profile. Makikita nyo yung fields natin. Sa may tatlong field na to, meron ng laman or may lamang siyang value na user, and then yung ito na i-fetch natin yung user data para malagyan ng laman yung tatlong field na yon. And then where ID is equal to blank, and then para mahanap natin yung current user, ibabind lang natin yung user ID ng current user. After ma-execute, kukunin yung result, i-search sa result, and then yung result, kukunin natin yung laman ni result o yung data, ilalagay natin siya sa user. Ayan na, may laman na si user. Next naman, handle provide update. Pag kinilik natin yung update, and then kukunin lang naman natin lahat ng mga input do sa mga fields natin. So, update na tayo, ganun ulit. Update users, mag-update tayo sa users na table, and then set name. Ano magiging value ng set name? Dito sa bind param, nilagay natin si name, which is ito, yung nakuha natin sa may name field. check natin if empty ba, bawal yung empty, and then dito, new password less than 6, kailangan greater than or equal to 6 yung character o yung length ng bagong password natin, and then if kapag, yun nga, sinabi ko kapag kailangan match yung confirm password and new password, pag hindi, mag-error tayo. Verify natin yung current password na kapag yung current password, kukunin natin yung password ni user doon sa may database, and then pag nakuha, and then may gagawin tayong variable na password match equal to false. Check lang naman ito kapag yung nakuha natin password doon sa may database ni user or doon sa may table user, yung password na yun is match doon sa may current password na in-enter doon sa may profile form. Tayong gawin ng dagon. Password, kung current password ko is password. Palitan natin ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. Update natin. Refresh lang. Ayan, nag-update na. Diyan, dagon. So, next naman sa may ating setting or admin setting, may kita tatlo tayong card na nag-display ng statistics sa loob ng ating system, which is the total users, total products, and total transactions. Meron din tayong container for danger zone, which is dito may mga critical function tayong nakapaloob or buttons na example, clear all transaction and reset all stock to 0. Kung makikita nyo mga buttons na ito is may confirmation. Bakit? Kasi it's a critical decision to run this function. And then punta tayo sa atin dito. Ayan, makikita nyo naka on click return confirm siya. Para sa confirmation kami lumalabas na confirmation sa may taas ng ating screen. Pag may kinilik na button, kukunin natin yung action using this. Yan. Action, then action. Kukunin lang naman natin yung value nun. And then kapag ang value ng action is equal to clear transaction, magdi-delete tayo. Run natin tong statement na to, o yung table na yun. And then isa pa pala dito sa may ating mga cards, yan, na hindi ko na-discuss kanina. Ayan, ito yung mga card dito, ni-store yung mga statistic natin, which is ito. Get system statistic, may tatlo tayong variable, total users, total product, total transaction. And then meron tayong mag-count lang naman tayo, count lang naman natin lahat ng users, and then once na as count, and after that i-fetch na natin, which is yung total users is equal to sa may result fetch count. Ito. Yan. Then next naman, just ganun din, select count, pero yung bibilangin naman natin is sa may products, and then ganun, i-store na din sa variable products. Then ganun din sa may transaction, bibilangin lang naman natin yung transactions. And try natin i-run. Itong clear all transaction. Pag nilikan nila, 0 talaga siya. 0. Then reset all stock to 0. Yan, refresh natin. And ito din sa may stock monitor. Ayan. Ito niya, 0 na lahat. Pero kanina din 0. And that's all for my discussion about the profiles and the admin setting in our system. Thank you.
Mga greetings, I am Lucio Labigan, and ang i-explain ko is yung stop dashboard and yung stop inventory. Dashboard nga is nakikita nga dito sa dashboard yung number ng total products, yung kung out of stock na ba, and dito nakikita rin yung recent sales, like example yung ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10, yung quantity niya, yung amount, and yung date. And next pala tayo sa inventory. Dito naman is makikita nga yung buong inventory ng system, and pwede tayo mag-search ng name para ma-filter yung products. Example nga is yung wooden table. So ayan, lumabas na yung wooden table. And next is pwede rin gamitin yung all categories na pang filter. Example is furniture. Nga lang is yung lahat ng furniture products. And that's all. That's the code part. So the file starts with the PHP configuration for error reporting and session handling. This ensures that all errors are visible during development and the user sessions are properly tracked. Next, and the PHP section then retrieves 3 main dashboard statistics using SQL queries. And after the PHP logic ends, the HTML structure begins. And the HTML document includes metadata, style sheet linking, and JavaScript imports such as jQuery and toast notifications. Inside the body, the sidebar navigation is defined using HTML anchor tags, and each links point to different staff modules like dashboard, inventory sales, and restock profile. And next, a conditional PHP block checks if there is a session message and displays if it's available. And for recent sales, a table is generated using a PHP loop for each row prints transaction data such as ID, product name, and quantity, amount, and date. If no sales exists, an alternative message is displayed using an else condition. And finally, a JavaScript function is included to reload the page when the browser restores cache and content, ensuring fresh data display. And next, for the category are fetched from the database and stored for use in the filter dropdown. And the main product query is then constructed. It selected all products and joins the category tables to include category names. And if filterings are applied, the query is modified using conditions for search like statement and category filtering. Prepared statement are used when parameters exist to ensure this secure execution. And after executing the query, these results are stored in a variable for later display in HTML. And the HTML section begins with metadata start. In the main section, a form is created using HTML. This form contains a search input and a category dropdown. These inputs send get requests back to the same page. Below the form, an HTML table is generated to display a product data. Inside the table body, a PHP loop while fetch association is used to iterate through all product records. Each row displays product details such as ID, image, name, category, price, stock, and status. The status column uses PHP conditions to evaluate stock levels and displays labels such as out of stock, critical, low stock, or normal. If no products are found, an alternative row is displayed using an else condition. And at the bottom, JavaScript is used with jQuery to detect changes in the searched input category dropdown. And it automatically submits the form after a short delay and enabling the dynamic filtering without manually clicking submit.
Tangal greetings, I'm John Red Morada and I will be discussing the stop, restock, and stop sales. Start session and use if ESET. This ensures unauthorized user cannot access the restock page. Database connection, require db.php and db equals new database. This allows us to interact with the product suppliers and restock request. And for the handling restock request submission, form is submitted, we collect and validate input data and product ID, supplier ID, and quantity. For the fetch all products, we also retrieve data to display in the UI. And suppliers select, we display everything in table request, product name, and request quantity and company. We also show status badge like pending or delivered. We use jQuery to filter. We use product select that on change function filter supply. This improves user experience by showing only valid suppliers. We start with the session start, then use if ESET session user ID. Then for the database connection, require db.php, then db is equals to new database. And then we calculate yung amount gamit yung amount is equals to product that price the times to quantity. Para naman sa update stock, we use if update stmt not is equals false. Then if txnt execute message sale recorded successfully, else error is equals to field to record transact. Then dun sa database, we select ID, name, price, stock from products at select ti.id, t.name, t.quantity, t amount, and txn. And para naman sa display, we display product selection and sales table gamit yung option value product ID, then data price, product price, data stock, product stock, and para doon naman sa show sales data, use td sales quantity, then number format sales amount. And for the update total, we use jQuery to update price and total instantly. We use function update total price quantity at total price. This makes the system interactive and user friendly. The record sale, maghanap ka lang dan, i-input ka lang kung anong product ang pipiliin mo, Java, then kung ilan yung quantity, 3, then record sale. Tapos makikita na dyan yung Java programming book. Makikita dito sa record sales yung product information at yung recent sales. At dito naman sa restock, dito nagre-restock kapag wala ng supply. Then kunyari yung Java programming book ulit, then book world, yung quantity niya ay stock tayo ng 20. Yan, submit request at pupunta yon doon sa my supplier. Makita dito yung information at yung stock request. Thank you, that's all.
Dingal greetings. My name is April Joy Deliro and I'm going to explain the supplier page. So the supplier page is the dashboard where the supplier can see an overview of the activity. So at the start, the code turns on error reporting so problems can be seen easily. And then it starts a session to track the login user and prevent browser caching for security. So the code checks if the user is logged in and if the role is supplier. And if not, the user is redirected to the login page. Then the system connects to the database and it gets the supplier's ID using their user ID. After that, it counts how many requests are still pending and how many are already delivered. So in this code, it also gets the latest 5 requests made to the supplier. So in the HTML part, the page shows a sidebar for navigation and a main dashboard areas. And the dashboard display cards for pending requests, delivered items, and quick actions. So it also shows a table of a recent request with details like product, name, quantity, status, and date. So this page helps the supplier quickly see their work status. And moving on to the supplier request page or the supplier request PHP. So the supplier request page is for the request that assigned to the supplier. So like to the dashboard, it starts by enabling error reporting, starting a session, and checking if the user is a login supplier. After that, it connects to the database and gets the supplier's ID. The code also checks if there is a filter selected like pending or delivered. Based on this filter, it prepares a query to get only the matching requests or all requests, and then if no filter is selected. So the results are sorted by date with the newest first, and in the HTML part, the page shows a sidebar and a main content area with a title Restock Request. There is a dropdown also that filter that lets the user choose which status to view. Below it, a table displays all requests with details like ID, product name, quantity, status, and date. And if a request is still pending, a deliver button is shown, which allows the supplier to mark it as delivered. If it is already completed, it shows a completed label instead, and this page allows the supplier to manage and update their requests easily.
So, greetings po, Sir Janus. I'm Ganyasin Fajardo, one of the leader of this group. And ngayon naman po, i-explain ko yung aming supplier delivery.php na part or yung code dito sa aming project or system for 802. Line 1 to 12. Yan ito. Ito po ito yung parang sets ng foundation natin sa ating system. Start session. So, ito yung magbibigin or magsisimula ng session para matrack natin yung user login state no across pages. So yung ito naman, the 3 cache control is ito yung mga headers na no store, no cache, must revalidate, pragma no cache, expire 0. Ito yung nagpe-prevent sa browser natin from saving a local copy ng page na to. So bakit ba siya mahalaga? Kasi para kung mag-back button si user, hindi niya makikita yung lumang version na may sensitive supplier data. So may pilitan yung browser mismo na kumuha ng fresh copy every time. And ito yung basic security hygiene bago pa man mag-load ng kahit anong content sa ating website. Next is the fetching pending request. Ito na. And ito to. So, ito yung nagpo-populates ng delivery table natin. So, left join, tool N, kita nyo naman from ano yan. Left join products, P on r.product ID, equals p.id para makuha yung product name at image URL alongside request details. Pero kahit wala namang product record, dilito pa rin yung request, no? So, filter using where, ito, r.supplier ID and r.status pending. So, para yung pending request lang ng current supplier ang makuha. Then, i-order ba natin siya after that request date ascending means all this request first, tapos yung newest na. And then the results are fetch, no? With while, ito, gawa tayo ng while, nasan yung ating while, yan. While row is equals to result, fetch asok natin siya. And ipupush na natin siya sa pending request na array, which is ito. And then ito yung data na ilulup na sa HTML table later para ma-display yung bawat pending request with its delivery button. So ito lang, ganun lang siya kasimple for supplier delivery.php. Tulad nga nun sa code na sinabi ko po, is ito yung output, no, pag in-execute yung code na yon. So ayan, ito yung delivery, pwede siya deliver tulad ng sa code na sinabi ko, and of course lalabas din siya sa dashboard kung meron tayong pending request, delivered, and of course the quick actions para ma-execute natin agad-agad. So pag pini-request natin yan, ito, pwede yan. Then ito, kanina na-deliver na natin, that's why yung action is completed na. So try na natin siyang i-deliver, okay. And sa history, ayan, makikita rin natin yung mga delivered na natin. So ito lang po yung simple UI, and of course yung magiging output dun sa part ng ating code na explain kanina. Now, for this part naman, which is yung supplier history natin, almost the same lang naman siya dun sa supplier delivery. Ang kinaibahan lang dito sa delivery is meron tayong function na pwedeng, para ma-test natin or magawa natin mag-deliver dun sa ating stuff, no? And dito naman sa history, of course, kukunin lang natin yung item na dineliver natin. So, that's why dito ulit dito, select ID ulit, parang same lang doon sa kanina, tamang fetch lang. And then dito, kukunin na natin yung product, no? Kung ano ba yung deliver natin. That's why nakaselect ulit tayo, naka-join ulit, parang same lang sa kanina. But this time, ayan, dito natin siya i-start sa delivered request na array. It means, ito, mag-show na yon dun sa ating history dashboard na pinakita ko rin kanina sa ating demo, no? And dito yon pupunta. Ayan. So, ganun lang kasimple itong history. Kumbaga ito lang yung summarization and visuals natin para matrack kung ano ba yung mga na-deliver na natin na item or product dun sa ating staff na nag-request sa atin ng mismong item na yon. And ayun, that's all for supplier delivery.php and supplier history.php code.